So today's a really important day for me. It's March 1st, 2020. I'm going for a walk. This is a walk maybe 14, 15 days after I got out of hospital last. And the reason why it's an important walk is because I'm challenging perceptions and beliefs and behaviors that I've created for myself over the last 3 years. A lot of people understand that my story is about challenging my beliefs, and I've challenged the belief that I am a happy, healthy human about 3 years ago by making myself sick. Those 3 years have been pretty hectic for me in terms of my health, but in terms of truly understanding what's going on in my life, I've been so beneficial because of it. It has been so beneficial because of it. I really want to keep this video short, so I'm going to talk about perception, I'm going to talk about belief, and I'm going to talk about the lessons that I've learned, even at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I've already learned a ton of lessons. So, perception. Today's challenge is to get up and go for a walk because I want to make my subconscious behavior to get up and move and go for a walk and get vitamin D from the sun. I haven't eaten anything this morning. I've had a glass of, or I've had about a litre of water to replenish the fluid that I've lost overnight while sleeping. And the reason why I'm recording this today is because I want to share with you that perception that getting up early, going for a walk, not eating breakfast, getting sun is actually a better outcome for humans than getting up, having breakfast, watching TV, stressing out about the world, and not actually enjoying your life. So the perception that everything you know, all the beliefs that you have, all the behaviors and habits and addictions that you have right now are serving you and are the best for you is something I want to challenge. I watched a movie, it's a cartoon actually, called Red Sun, where it takes Superman and instead of placing him in America, it places him in the Soviet Union back in the USSR days, and it shows his progression and timeline in that story mode. Similar characters still exist in the DC world. You've still got Lex Luthor, you've still got Batman, you've still got Diana. So the interesting thing about this show, this DC movie, is that it challenged the perception that Superman was always good, and it actually shone a whole new perspective, a whole nother light on Batman being bad, and Lex Luthor, who's previously always been a bad guy. It showed him to be great, almost the best out of all of them. So the important story, I think, the important message to take out of that was even the villain thinks he is the hero in his own story. Like, very rarely do people perceive themselves to be the bad guy in what they're doing. Their perspective on life is that what they're doing is always right, never wrong, always good, never bad. Which this Red Sun comic, it reversed the roles, and I got to see what has always been projected to me, that Superman is always the best and always does good and his intentions are well-meaning. All of that was flipped, and all of a sudden you're seeing Lex Luthor like he's the man, like he was the savior, which was cool for me to see, because I've always perceived Lex Luthor to be a bad guy, and people tell me I look like Lex Luthor when I shave my head. They call me Lex. Now, recently I've been adopting that belief that I'm Lex, and I kind of have a laugh that goes with it. It's like, oh, like a mischievous laugh. But to see Lex as the good guy, it helps me embody the idea that maybe Lex is the great balance to what would be an otherwise polarizing story. And what I know about life is that if you're too polarized, if you're always one way and never perceiving or receiving the other side of the story, you could actually be the villain of the story that you're trying to create. So the interesting thing about what I've learned today is that there are two sides to every story, and that is the dichotomy aspect of perspectives, which challenges sometimes your belief. It challenges where you are at right now. For anybody that's emotional or upset, I know that you're on one side of the perspective, and the reality is you might be playing the good guy in what you think and say and do, but you actually could be the bad guy from somebody else's perspective. So depending on how you're perceived or how you're received will depend on how you're perceived. And there's certainly times where I know people who believe they're doing the right thing, but everybody else around them is perceiving them to be doing the wrong thing, which is cool. There's balance to the universe, and if you know that there's that balance there, good and bad, then you can appreciate that neither is right or wrong. And so, today's a very important day today for me. I'm challenging my belief. I'm breaking out of the perception that I have to make myself sick. I'm now breaking into a new perception that I can make myself well. And part of my beliefs and behaviors are about programming my mind, my conscious mind and my subconscious mind, to believe what I perceive. And the perception that the human body can heal and repair itself is something I've been noting for a very long time. When I watch people get cut, their wounds repair and heal. Why is that? Because the human body is designed to repair and heal itself. Whenever I get challenged by the idea that it can't repair and heal itself, I'm questioning why. I'm trying to figure out what stress is not allowing the body to repair and heal at that time. Now, from a physical point of view, if you presented to the doctor with a knife in that wound, and the doctor just band-aids you, you'd be pretty pissed, because you'd be like, hey, can you take the knife out? Like, I think that would be more important right now. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the source of the stress. But often, and I'm not blaming medical professionals here, I'm actually trying to just tell the story, that we've got to start taking responsibility for our health and for our lives. And if you've got a wound and the knife is still in it, and you choose not to take it out and you choose to band-aid it, it's going to be very difficult for your body to repair and heal itself. So, interesting perception story about how you perceive and receive information, and what things are causing you pain in your life that you could challenge so that you're receiving that information in a different way, so you can appreciate maybe the bad thing that happened to you is actually a good thing, and it puts you directly on course for something much greater and better than where your life is currently at. So I'm challenging my perception. I'm breaking out of my sickness phase and breaking into this phase where I'm consciously and subconsciously trying to reprogram and program my behaviors and habits and beliefs and perceptions, and just trying to find the truth. I'm just trying to be a scientist. I'm not wanting to test without putting the hypothesis down, and I'm not willing to guess without actually doing the test. So many people are out there, they don't even have an opinion, they don't even have an hypothesis, they're not even like making a decision about things, and they're sitting on the fence, on the fence of life really, and as a result they're not getting any progress and not moving forward. So one of the things that I did as part of the last 3 years is I made a very important step to make sure, when I decided I wanted to come out of making myself sick, I wanted to make sure I had leaders and mentors and things around me that would allow me to walk back towards the light. I needed people who were in a logical state, on a different category of different level of consciousness, so that I didn't get stuck at my lower level beliefs and behavior. I didn't get stuck on the one side of the perspective without having somebody help me appreciate and see the other side. That's what mentors do. That's what masters do. That's what people who are able to recognize that, the level of consciousness and understanding you're playing at is like here, and they're playing at like a higher level. And so, in the last 6 weeks, I've had 5 mentors, and I've been spending time with 5 different mentors, and I'm looking for opportunities and I'm looking for moments in my day where I can spend time with these people in different categories of life, health, finances, relationship, business. There's another one, but I'm clearly out of path, even just going for a couple of blocks walk around is enough to puff me out right now. Whew. And so my question to you today is, who in your life is mentoring you, and who in your life is helping you challenge or help you perceive the perspective in a different light? Who is helping you to go to another level in any category of life? Remind yourself of this, that if you are stressed, if you're fatigued, if you're in pain, if you're inflamed, if your body's not repairing and healing itself, I'm going to go back the other way so the wind doesn't bother me. If you're unable to heal and repair, then there must be some level of stress that has not been dealt with. And I try to make it easy for people in clinic. There's 15 categories. There's physical, nutritional, emotional, social, spiritual, environmental, chemical, relationship, occupational, technological, death is on there. If your perspective about those categories of life, these are the same categories of life everyone's got to experience. If your perspective is one of that, it causes you pain and stress and inflammation, fatigue and tiredness, and you don't remove that stress, or you don't perceive that stress in another way, so you can actually appreciate the goodness, the gratefulness, the appreciation of what it brings, what balance it brings to your life, then you're going to really struggle with repairing and healing. I guess that's the biggest message there, is if you can find this stress, if you can address it, your body can repair and heal itself. I'm on that journey. This is why today's so important. Today's March 1st. I'm actually starting a water challenge, and the water challenge is to go the next 30 days, or 28 days, 30 days, drinking only water and not consuming any other fluids. This particular one is for a charity, and they are helping people around the world who don't have water. I think water is one of the most important things that we have control over as a human to put into our body. If you listen to my story from the start, the first thing that I did this morning was put a liter of water in my body. I didn't eat food, I put water in. If you remember that we're 60 to 80% water, depending on how old you are, what stage of life you're in, you'll find that water is such an important nutrient for repairing and healing your body, for allowing your body to do incredible things. And I think we neglect the idea, we forget about how important water is. So going back to that question, who is your mentor? Who's teaching you? Who's showing you the way? Who's helping you increase your consciousness and awareness about life? Let me know. Shout out to anybody that has some really cool mentors, and share them with me. And make sure you get some water in your life today. And hopefully, if this video helped, just let me know. I'd love to have momentum and feedback teaching me that it's okay to learn things and share them with you. Hopefully have a great day and enjoy your challenges and enjoy your mentoring, and see ya in the next video.